Did you know there are 10 Medigap plans that are available for Medicare beneficiaries? But how do you know which one to pick? Hi, I'm Larry Goist, owner of LMS Insurance Group, where we help seniors navigate the Medicare maze. So in today's short video, I'm going to be comparing the three most popular Medicare supplements available, which are the Plan F, the Plan G, and the Plan N, so that you know what to do in 2024 if you're shopping for Medigap coverage. Hey, before I dive in, don't forget to hit that like button. Definitely subscribe if you find this information helpful. That's what helps this channel grow and get this message to others just like yourself. Thanks for doing that. So before I start comparing these Medigap plans and ranking them, you have to have a basic idea of what Medigap coverage actually is. So if you don't understand what Medigap is, go ahead and watch the video that's attached in the description below, as I have an entire video that explains exactly what Medigap plans are. So I'll do a brief overview of what they are right now, but if you need the full comprehensive understanding, watch that video and then come back and watch this one. So when you have a Medigap plan, there are three things that are important that you need to know. So number one is that these plans are standardized, and that means that if you have a Medigap plan with insurer ABC, that Medigap plan, if it is a plan, say Plan G, it is the exact same coverage as a Medigap Plan G with company XYZ. So the coverage between insurers is exactly the same. The only thing that is different is the monthly price they charge you to have the Medigap plan. So that's what standardized means. If you have a Plan G, it's a Plan G, no matter what insurance company you purchase it through. So the second thing you would want to know is, so Medicare A and B, on average, pays 80% of your bills. So when you are picking up a Medigap plan, whether it's a Plan F, a Plan G, or a Plan N, that Medigap plan is picking up the gap left behind by original Medicare. So it's going to pick up the 20% that is not covered by original Medicare. Now, on these three plans, not all of them pick up the entire 20%. But in general, that's what Medigap does. You are paying an additional insurance premium to an insurer for them to pick up that gap, that 20% left behind by original Medicare. Now, the third thing you have to know is that Medigap plans, the rates are drastically different depending on three things. Number one, where you live. Number two, your age. And number three, whether you're male or female. So in the examples that I'm going to use in this video, we're going to be doing a case study on a 70-year-old male in Ohio. So the information I give you, if you're in a different state, these numbers could be different. And just reach out to us if you want a comparison for your specific situation. Okay, so let's start comparing these Medigap plans. So we're going to start with the Plan F. Now, the Medigap Plan F, it used to be what we would call the Cadillac of all coverage. Because when you had a Medigap Plan F, as you could see here from the chart on the screen, that Plan F, it picked up every gap left behind by original Medicare. The only thing that was not paid at 100% was foreign travel emergency. So if we forget about foreign travel, the Plan F literally picked up everything not paid by original Medicare. It picked up the entire 20%. Now, because of a law passed in 2016 called the MACRA law, you can no longer purchase a Plan F unless you were born on or before January 1st of 1954. So if you're not 69 years old, as I'm shooting this video today, you cannot have a Plan F. You would be too young. So that's why for this example, I'm going to use a 70-year-old male when I do the comparisons, because if you're 67, you couldn't even have a Plan F. It would be impossible because you had to be born in 1954 or prior to have Plan F as your Medigap plan. So again, as far as the coverage goes on a Plan F, every gap is picked up at 100%. Your medical, your hospital deductible, your doctor deductible, the co-pays at the hospital after day 60, everything is picked up by the Plan F. When you have a Plan F, you don't come out of pocket for anything except for your monthly premium. So what does a Plan F cost? Well, we did a quote using Trumbull County, the county where my headquarters is in Warren, Ohio, for a 70-year-old male on a Plan F. And the average that we came up with was about $170 a month in 2023. So if you were a 70-year-old male, you were purchasing that Plan F, you'd be around $170 a month. Well, if you multiply that over 12 months, 170 times 12, you will have paid $2,040 in premiums. So that's how much the Plan F would cost you in that calendar year. And again, you would not come out of pocket for anything else because that Plan F is going to pick up all those gaps. So 100% coverage, and on average, about $170 a month for a male that's 70 years old. Okay, so what about the Plan G? Well, as you can see from the graphic that's on the screen now, a Plan G similarly covers almost everything that a Plan F covers. And the only thing that the G does not cover that the F covered is your Part B Medicare deductible. So for 2024, the Part B Medicare deductible is $240. So if you purchase a Plan G, you have to pay the first $240 of the year under Part B. Once you have satisfied that $240 deductible, everything else is paid at 100%. Hospital stays, surgeries, ambulance, everything, cancer treatments, testing, just like the Plan F, everything is paid at 100%. So when we ran a quote in Trumbull County, Ohio, for males age 70, the average was about $135 a month. So that 70-year-old male would pay $135 a month times 12 months. That would be $1,620 in premiums. So that is a $400 savings compared to the Plan F. Now, you also have to throw in that $240 deductible that you're responsible for on the Plan G. So if you add the $240 deductible to the $1,620 that you paid in premiums to have the Plan G, you would have paid $1,860 for that coverage in the year 2024, because you're going to multiply the 135 times 12 and then add in the Part B deductible you're responsible for. So just comparing an F to a G, mathematically, it is a winning formula to switch to the G, because you could never pay more than you are paying on that Plan F. You see, on the Plan F, you're over $2,000 in premiums. The G, you're around $1,600 in premiums, plus the Part B Medicare deductible. Okay, so what about the Plan N? So Plan N, similarly, has a lot of the same things covered as the G and the F. So there is really two major differences on the N than the G. So number one is a Plan N does not cover what are called Part B excess charges. Now, that's a whole rabbit hole to get into, but basically there are 8 states that prohibit excess charges: Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and 5 others. So if you are in one of those 8 states, you cannot be even charged this excess charge. And that's the first thing, is the Plan N will not cover an excess charge. And then number 2, on a Plan N, you are responsible for a $20 office copay when you go to a doctor. And that $20 can be for a regular doctor or for a specialist. You could be billed up to $20 for each doctor visit. But those are, really the only main differences. And you also do have a $50 copay if you go to the ER and you're not admitted. But again, as you can see right down this line here, all those other benefits that the G covers and the F covers, as does the Plan N. So when we ran a Plan N quote in Trumbull County, the average for a male age 70 was about $105 a month. So I can give somebody a Plan N for $105 a month. You multiply that times 12 months, that Medicare beneficiary would have paid $1,260 in premiums. Of course, you would have had that deductible as well, the $240 deductible. So add that to the cost. Now you're at $1,500 in the year on your Plan N. And then you would have to add any doctor visits that you went to. So let's say you went to 10 doctor visits throughout the course of the year at $20 a visit. You would have paid an additional $200 in doctor copays. So on the Plan N, you have the premiums, you have the $240 deductible, which gets you to $1,500. And then under this example, you would have paid another $200 in office copays. So you would have paid $1,700 on the Plan N over the course of 12 months. So let's put these all on the screen so you could see them broken down individually again. So on an F, we would, under this case study, we would estimate you would pay about $2,040 over the course of 12 months. On a Plan G, we would estimate that you would pay about $1,860 over the course of 12 months. And on a Plan N, if you went to 10 doctor visits, we would estimate you would have paid around $1,700 in the year for that Plan N coverage. So what do we recommend at LMS Insurance Group? Well, number one, if you have a Plan F, if you are healthy enough where you health qualify to change to a G or an N, you absolutely should do so. And the reason is, well, first off, the math, you could see mathematically you are going to win by getting off of it. But secondly, because of the MACRA law, the pool of people paying into F keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So those rates are a lot less stable, right? You think about the law of large numbers. When you have 100,000 people paying into a Plan F, and that just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller, there's more risk. So the Plan F's premiums are going up much faster than Plan G and Plan N. So if you health qualify to get off the Plan F, switch it to a G or switch it to an N. Not only are you going to realize those savings immediately, but over time, you're going to have much more stable rate increases. Now, in regards to the Plan G, basically, if you live in one of the 8 states where excess charges are prohibited, we recommend the N or the G. Now, if you're outside of those 8 states, we tend to recommend the Plan G more often because of the excess charge. And you don't know what you're going to pay on the Plan N on your excess charge if you're outside of the 8 states. So, you could do a Plan G if you're in any state, and really it would come down to, do you want to pay that $20 office copay? Because on an N, remember, you have a $20 office copay. Some people don't want to be bothered by office copays. They'd rather pay a little bit more a month on the G and never have to worry about the office copay. So generally, if you are outside of the 8 states protected by excess charges, we are recommending Plan Gs to anybody who wants a Medicare supplement plan. And now finally, a Plan N. We recommend the Plan N usually as our number one plan in the 8 states that cannot be charged an excess charge. And the reason we make that recommendation, again, it comes down to the math. as we just went through in the case study, you are going to pay less money on a Plan N than a G or an F, as long as you're not going to the doctor 20 or 30 times a year, right? Because if you're going to the doctor more than 10 times a year, yes, those $20 office copays can add up. So if you're somebody that you feel long-term, you're going to have constant doctor visits, perhaps even 2 a month, then a G would be more suitable. However, if you're going to have 10 doctor visits or less a year, and you're in one of those 8 states, we'd recommend Plan Ns as our first option to any Medicare beneficiary. So if I had to rank the plans as 1, 2, 3, to be honest, I would say that the Plan G and the Plan N are tie for number 1. That's a tie for what we recommend, because it depends where you live and if you want to pay that office copay. And the Plan F, again, because of the MACRA law, we hate to see anybody get stuck on a Plan F long term. So if you do have a Plan F, reach out to a local broker or to us and let them shop that and see if they can get you those reduced premiums on the G or the N and more stable rates long term. Well, what do you do about your specific situation? Well, that's what we're here for at LMS Insurance Group. As a full-service, multi-state, independent insurance broker, that's what we're here to help with. So if you have any questions on Medigap rates in your state, the Plan F, G, or N anywhere across the U.S., go ahead and use that information listed on the screen below, as we would love to help. And of course, there is never a fee for our service. So guys, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, again, give it a like or a share. Always appreciate you guys watching. I'll talk to you next time. Larry Goist, LMS Insurance Group. Thanks.